Hello, for today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to configure and use the new Teams meeting feature where you can force mute attendees. So as you can see here, I'm going to schedule a new meeting. I'm going to invite a user. And I'm going to send that out. The day and time and everything is correct. Now, since I have scheduled this meeting, I now need to go into the meeting options so I can adjust my privacy and security settings in this meeting. So as you saw here, I double-clicked back into the meeting I just scheduled. I navigated here to meeting options and clicked that. It opened up another browser. Here, I'm going to leave the lobby settings and allow this user to bypass the lobby because they're in the organization with me and I don't have a concern for them bypassing the lobby. Who can present? I'm actually going to switch this to only myself, so it will automatically downgrade everybody else that was invited to this meeting as an attendee. And then I'm not going to allow attendees to unmute. So I'm going to toggle this to no, and then I'm going to save that. I can close this here. I'm going to go ahead and close this so you can see it. And now we'll say it's time for my meeting to start. So as the organizer and the host, I'm going to go in and join my meeting. Go ahead and mute that so you don't hear a lot of feedback. And now I'm going to switch to the other persona that is going to come in as an attendee. All right, and here is that persona. You'll see here, this is Nestor. You'll notice when I first go to log in, I don't even have the option. I could turn on my camera if I wanted to, but I have no option to mute as my microphone has been disabled for all attendees, which is exactly what I would expect to see. So I'm going to join. And then now I'm in the meeting. Of course, I'm getting a banner letting me know I'm in the meeting as an attendee. And of course, anytime you're in as an attendee, you cannot initiate the screen share. You cannot start the recording. You can't really click on anything for the participant panels. So all of that looks as I would expect it to look. And the part that is new is now I don't even have the option to be able to come off of mute. I have been forced to be on mute. If I switch to the other persona, so here is the organizer, I have all of the functionality that I would originally expect to see. So as the attendee, I have something I need to say. I need to come off of mute so that I can speak. So how you do that with this hard mute is the attendee would raise their hand. So I'm going to go ahead and initiate my raise hand. And then when I switch back to the organizer, I can see that somebody has raised their hand. So when I click on that, you'll notice here, what do you see? You have the option to allow to unmute. Now, I will tell you, if you go ahead and lower the hand, this goes away. So what you need to do is say, okay, I do want Johanna or Nestor to be able to unmute his microphone and talk to me. So I'm going to choose allow to unmute. Now, when I choose allow to unmute and I switch back to Nestor, what has happened is I have essentially upgraded Nestor to a presenter role. So allowed him to initiate the unmute. So I'm going to click that really quick, but you're probably going to hear some feedback. So I unclicked it and clicked it really quick just so you could see it. But now the user would have the ability to unmute themselves. One thing I'll say is the organizer or presenter cannot unmute the participant. But what you do is, again, you come to that participant list where they've raised their hand and you click on those three dots there. And when you lower or when you allow them to unmute, then at that point you can tell them, okay, Nestor, now please come off of mute. They would unmute themselves and be able to speak. Then after they're finished, if I switch back to Johanna, Nestor has finished saying what it is he needed to say. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to not allow him to unmute his microphone again. And this is really beneficial when you have 100, 200, 300 people in a Teams meeting. You don't want to spend that unnecessary time telling people, can you go on mute, or and then mute all, but then people inadvertently come off of mute and don't realize it, and then it's disruptive. So this is just a nice way for the organizer, meeting presenter to be able to have a little bit more control over the attendees in the meetings. And then if I switch back, because I just set Nestor to not be able to unmute, so when I switch back to him, you notice here his microphone is back to a disabled state. So that is very quickly how you can navigate the option to not permit people to unmute unless you so choose. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.